So, between social justice and cultural humility both are multi-dimensional and multifactorial and are based a lot in how somebody was raised and the education that they've received in their lifetime. As a nurse, and especially a nursing student going through a Catholic university who was lucky enough to be introduced to the Franciscan values in high school and in college, um, identifying the Franciscan values, service, respect, compassion, peace, hope, and integrity, it's easy to identify these and practice these in everyday life that we've seen throughout our med surg experience, any psychiatric, any of the facilities that we've been so blessed and allowed to be able to be welcome into. It's easy to identify those when people have the same beliefs as us. We're able to apply, for a lack of a better description, our beliefs onto them. But when somebody practices a different culture or a different religious belief, it can be a little bit harder, especially without the education that's necessary to do so. And in 2020, I think it was Dorothy Stubb, who is a doctor, she's not a nurse. She was able to identify that bias, stereotyping, prejudice, and clinical uncertainty on the part of the healthcare provider will 100% contribute to racial and ethnic and cultural disparities in healthcare. And it's heartbreaking to see. It really is, obviously. I know an example of this that I've seen when I was a psych tech working at Beaumont Farmington Hills. We had a patient, and he was a practicing Muslim. And the nurses on the unit felt it was best for him to then align his beliefs and align his healing to our standards. 8 o'clock breakfast, 9 o'clock group therapy, 9:30 activities, and lunch, arts and crafts, another group therapy, individual therapy, without taking into account the fact that he was a practicing Muslim and he needed to do his prayers 5 times a day. And I was the only one that was advocating for that, which was heartbreaking to see. And it's understanding, like, it's easy to say, oh, we know that. We know that we need to account for these people's things. But when it goes against our schedule that we've created as nurses, as we've created as techs, as we've created as medical assistants, nursing assistants, it's hard to reroute our schedule around somebody's religious beliefs. And I understand that completely. But it's, like I said, and like Dr. Stubbs said in 2020, education and our personal bias is at the root of this cultural discrepancy, and that sets these people up for failure in the end game of just trying to not, or to manage or cure this illness that they have. And another thing that I've always seen, especially being in the OB unit and working in OB now, people respond and understand pain differently. And so forcing a patient who has verbally said, this is how I view pain, this is how I handle pain, I've got it, forcing them to think about an epidural and to say, you need to decide on an epidural right this second, without fully understanding where they're coming from, is hard. And as a nurse, we need to be able to step back, ask, what do I need to know about your culture, about your religion, about any social practices that you have in the home or outside of the home that you think are going to be pertinent to your care?